Hello everyone, I hope that you're well. My name is Gintare and I'm here today to help you with your final drawings. I'm going to try and make this a quick but useful video lecture, so I collected some of my tips on how to make better final drawings in 9 easy steps. Firstly, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I finished Unit 13 at the Bartlett in 2018. My final project was based in Southall, West London, where I was exploring an alternative future for high-density, multi-generational living for culturally diverse communities. And since then, I have been working for a small practice in London called Almanac. I was working there for 2 years on small-scale residential projects, but also on a big school refurbishment project for Dulwich College in South London. And last summer I left the practice and moved to my home country Lithuania to work for a government organization. And I'm currently doing a project on green infrastructure together with the Ministry of Environment, where we are creating a green infrastructure manual, designing this green space index tool, and we'll soon start some very interesting workshops with municipalities and local communities through mapping exercises and games to teach them about the importance of green infrastructure and the implementation of its elements. Anyway, let's start with the drawing tips. Step 1, start with a thumbnail sketch.
Okay, so start your drawing with a thumbnail sketch using pencil and paper. It's good to time yourself while drawing each thumbnail, allowing for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, because this will force you to work faster and produce more thumbnail options and ideas for your drawing. Also, you could write little notes about colors, tones, mood, feel, and what elements you want to include in your drawing. And this is important because all these sketches that you produce and information will be the fuel for your final drawing, and you should keep referring to this stage during the construction process of your drawing.
Step 2, pick a sketch and clean it up.
So you should pick one thumbnail sketch that best represents your idea for a final drawing. And at this stage, you now have a drawing concept, but it needs refinement. You can scan or photograph your sketch and put it in Photoshop. Here you can adjust the composition, change the scale, add or even remove some elements. The goal here is to refine your sketch and understand in more detail what you want to achieve.
Step 3, use the rule of thirds.
So this is a very basic drawing composition rule that I'm sure you all know about, but it's also very important. I'll quickly explain it. So for a drawing format, choose a large sheet. I would suggest an A2 at least. Then create 3 by 3 grid lines that would divide your sheet into 9 equal parts. This will help to compose your drawing better. If you align your subject, which could be a character in the drawing or an important design element, if you align it with intersection points, the drawing will create more interest, tension and energy in your composition that simply just centering the subject wouldn't do that job.
Step 4, layer different views.
This is the stage where you can start bringing in the line drawings that you created for your DR, such as plans, sections, elevations, and so on, from your Rhino model or other 3D software that you're using, and you can start pairing them. This is actually my favorite stage because you can accidentally find some very unusual combinations. So you can pair a perspective and an elevation, perspective and a plan, perspective and an axonometric, and so on. And this will make your drawing more interesting and will help you to tell the story of your project more clearly and intelligently. So test several layers and layering options and various scales. And at the end of this step, make sure you have a clear and clean line drawing and discuss it with your tutor or people in your unit for more advice.
Step 5, be purposeful about your choice of colors.
Create a color palette from the context of your project. Consider the mood that you want your piece to have. If you're not good with colors, you can look at artists that inspire you. Look at their paintings and what colors they choose to produce them and what feelings those paintings or drawings invoke for you as a viewer, and try to translate that and interpret it into your drawing. I would strongly advise you to collect several illustrations, drawings, and paintings that inspire you and relate to your project, and keep those in your sight when thinking about what you want to produce. You can use websites like Colors with O that will help you to generate some interesting color schemes, but it's important that you limit yourself to 5 main colors or even less per drawing, and then just make them lighter or darker depending on what elements you are coloring. The more colors you have in your palette, the longer it takes to decide where to place those colors and what are their values, and means that it takes a lot longer to produce a drawing. So keep it in mind and keep it simple and stick to a maximum of 5 main colors.
Okay, next, it's not really a step, but it's more of an observation that every drawing has an ugly stage.
So your drawing reaches the point where you exported your views from Rhino or other software, started layering those views with plans, sections, or elevations, started adding colors, and you realize that your drawing looks ugly. However, if you have a good sketch, tidy line work, and composition, you will easily get through this ugly stage of your drawing. You need to be at this ugly stage to start adjusting colors in your drawing, adding more elements, or changing the locations. When coloring your drawings, go back to your thumbnail sketches, go back to your original notes and your drawing precedents that you collected, and do not stop at this ugly stage. Do not feel like this is all that you are capable of. You have to get through that feeling and continue drawing. It is part of the drawing process and it is natural, so just keep working.
Step 7, try to tell a story.
Take time with details on a selected portion of your drawing. In the case of my drawings, I chose to detail the bottom part of my drawing. The bottom perspectives were the first thing that people saw when they were reading the drawings, and it helped them to understand the story and relate to it better. Then the eye would slowly go up to start examining the elevations or plans and so on. So be creative about your drawings. Maybe one of your final drawings can be in the form of a comic, or if your project is about a process or a change, maybe you can create a GIF like this. It's very easy to do it in Photoshop. There are many tutorials online, but I can also help you with it in our individual tutorials.
Step 8. Create interest by adding texture to flat colors.
You can overlay various textures from the internet or create your own by adding noise in Photoshop. Don't forget to add shadows and highlights to your drawings. They make your drawing look better instantly.
And finally, step 9, make sure that your final drawings are consistent.
This last step is very important, as the drawings should look like they are from the same series and they're done by the same person. Maybe they all use the same color palette. Maybe they are the same shape or format, you name it, but they all need to look consistent.
Okay, so that's all my tips. I really hope that they have been helpful to you all, and I'm excited to see your projects and your progress on your final drawings in our individual tutorials next week. So see you all then. Bye!